We've all been there. It's late at night, and you make a vow. Tomorrow, I start eating healthy. And almost immediately, you start making a mental list of everything you have to stop eating. The problem with deciding to cut out carbs, sweets, or your favorite snacks is that you are building a strategy entirely on willpower, and willpower is a finite, rapidly depleting resource. Track a standard week. Your willpower starts high on Monday, but as daily stress piles up, that capacity crashes, colliding with a sharp spike in impulse food orders. Right here is where traditional diets break, requiring constant, perfect resistance. Dr. Umesh Wadhavani proposes a completely different protocol. Instead of subtracting what you love, you improve nutrition through architectural addition and friction engineering. Focus on adding the right things and redesigning your environment so the right choices happen automatically. To be clear, this framework is designed to raise your baseline health. If you are targeting a specific clinical goal, like managing PCOS, diabetes, or a strict weight loss target, you will need a tailored plan. But this is the foundation everyone needs first. By mastering your physical environment and committing to a few essential daily additions, you generate a much higher, more sustainable return on investment than any restrictive crash diet. We start by securing quick wins early in the day. These are your morning nutritional additions, designed to build momentum before decision fatigue can even start. The first addition happens the moment you wake up. Before you reach for coffee or tea, drink 300 to 500 milliliters of water. This flushes your digestive system and hydrates your tissues after 8 hours of sleep. The trade-off here is straightforward. You have to delay that immediate caffeine hit and consciously disrupt a deeply ingrained morning ritual. But by doing so, you immediately check off that first daily minimum on your nutritional scorecard. Your second mandatory input is having one piece of fruit and a handful of nuts right away in the morning. This chart expands to show exactly what you're getting. With one simple habit, you are locking in critical subcategories of fiber, antioxidants, and healthy fats. Securing these nutrients early supports brain function and joint health throughout the day, long before you have to make complex choices about lunch or dinner. The hidden cost of this habit is logistics. You have to actively manage your groceries because fresh produce will spoil if you buy it and ignore it. However, checking off these low-effort morning additions removes the physiological and psychological pressure of trying to catch up on your baseline nutrients later in the day. Once the morning is secured, we shift our focus to auditing your primary meals, lunch and dinner. Your goal is to inspect every single plate of food and ensure it contains a dedicated protein source. That means identifying the paneer, eggs, chicken, or dals before you start eating. Looking at our daily minimums again, you can see how this works in practice. We are keeping the standard base layers of carbs and fats, but explicitly adding a distinct protein block to the meal. Integrating that protein alongside your standard staples stabilizes your energy levels and preserves your muscle mass, preventing the mid-afternoon energy crash. The trade-off is practical. Dedicated protein sources require more deliberate preparation time and carry a higher cost per meal than heavy carbohydrate staples like rice or roti. The final nutritional input requires mandating one raw salad or green vegetable, plus a probiotic source like curd or buttermilk every single day. When we check off these final items, a visual link connects them. The fiber acts as a prebiotic, feeding the healthy bacteria from the probiotic to maintain your gut microbiome. Implementing this requires strict cold chain storage at your home or office. Also, if your body isn't used to digesting this volume of fiber, you may experience temporary bloating as your system adjusts. By hitting these nutritional minimums first, you ensure you are physically full and your blood sugar is stable before you ever look at a dessert menu. This physical satiety makes impulsive snacking a conscious choice rather than a biological response to hunger. Now, we move away from what is on your plate and look at how your physical environment dictates those choices. To evaluate these changes, we use an effort versus impact matrix. Implementation effort is on the bottom, health impact on the vertical. Keeping healthy snacks visible while buying single-serve junk food lands squarely in the high-impact, low-effort quadrant. This specific setup satisfies intense cravings when they hit, without enabling mindless, accidental binge eating. The downside is losing bulk discounts and making frequent store trips when a craving strikes. Next, we map your digital environment. Uninstalling delivery apps like Swiggy and Zomato, or favoriting only healthy restaurants, goes into the high-impact, high-effort quadrant. Creating this digital friction interrupts impulse orders and forces you to actually plan your meals. But it also eliminates a major convenience safety net for those nights when you are genuinely exhausted. Ultimately, environmental design acts as your vital failsafe. When your willpower inevitably depletes, this friction ensures the path of least resistance is still a relatively healthy one. This entire system of addition is governed by a straightforward 80-20 rule. If you dedicate 80% of your meals to these nourishing additions, you earn 20% for unrestricted indulgence. This ratio effectively prevents diet fatigue and psychological burnout. The trade-off is that your aesthetic results will be slower and less dramatic compared to a crash diet. This system is optimized for lifelong sustainability, not a 30-day transformation. Look at this decision tree. Your next steps depend on your primary goal. Time-poor professionals follow this path to optimize environmental design and digital friction. Overwhelmed beginners master hydration, fruit, and protein. For clinical goals, follow the route for macro quantification and consultation. For this group, applying general additive rules will build healthier habits, but without quantifying those inputs against your specific biometrics, progress toward those clinical goals may stall. You need to seek a tailored assessment, like the consultation Dr. Wadhavani offers, to align these foundational habits strictly with your height, weight, and blood work. The stability of your health depends on the foundational, additive systems you build today. These habits remain in place long after the temporary motivation of a restrictive new diet has worn off.